Ooh, welcome back to the Arch Plays. We have been watching Free Iwatobi Swim Club recently.
Why did you do that?
Yeah, so we've been watching Free Iwatobi Swim Club. And I used to be like a competitive swimmer on the swim team when I lived in Texas. And so it was kind of satisfying watching an anime, like a sports anime, that was about the sport that I was good at.
Mm-hmm. And something that you actually know.
Uh-huh. And so you could see a lot of like the accurate things. Like
Yeah.
there are other like bits of
It's not
tips
even.
that I wish that they went into, but like,
It's not even a feeling that you can get from like watching Yu-Gi-Oh and playing Yu-Gi-Oh because they kind of make up the rules as they go.
yeah,
So it's a very different type of feeling.
very different. Now, so I talk in my private life fairly often about me being
Oh,
a
that's so
competitive
fun.
swimmer and being awesome and stuff. What I never told anybody, apparently, except for the people who were there at the time, was that I was not very good on my team. Like,
Yeah, that didn't come up until yesterday when we watched it.
so I took second place in our bracket for backstroke, but backstroke was my blow off stroke. So if I had thought about it at the time, I could have actually gone hard at it and been good.
Oh, you should get that acorn and put it in there.
Yeah. So I could have gone hard at it and been good, but I didn't because I was in swim team because, in retrospect, I don't know why. I think it's just because my mother wanted me to be. And swim meets and like competitions and stuff like that were always kind of a joke. Like you would show up and you would swim whatever they told you to swim. You had no ability to interact at all with the actual
wasn't-
structure of the thing. You wouldn't even find out what stroke you were supposed to be doing until you like got up there.
Yeah, it wasn't like in Free where it's just like, oh, I only swim free. You don't have that option.
Yeah, exactly. And so really what would happen is we would all be like of all ages, we would all be in the back playing blackjack. And that's where I learned a whole bunch of card games.
I can see it now. Fucking 10-year-olds just playing blackjack.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jeez.
I don't know.
I'm guessing that acorn doesn't belong there.
Maybe it does. How would you know?
I wouldn't.
Oh no, wait, it belongs in a giant pot over this way.
Oh, okay.
Okay. What's the other? No, the giant pot for this is over this way. Right. So I have a prodigious lung capacity, which has just like never left me because of the insane swimming that we did. And when I say insane swimming, like, okay, so an Olympic swimming pool is 50 meters. Okay? And so the way that a practice would work is you would get up to the... You'd go to swim practice, and you'd be there, and they'd tell you, okay, do 100 meters of this stroke, and then you would do it. And they're like, okay, now do 100 meters of this stroke. Now do 200 meters of this stroke. They didn't even tell us it was meters, by the way. It was just like, do a 200. And it was like, what's a 200? It's there and back and there and back again.
Okay. Good enough for me.
That was it.
Yeah. Yeah, you know.
And then the next year that I did it, after going at it for a while, the next year was pretty intense.
You need to go up under it.
Yeah. Because for at least one practice, which I still keep this in my head, I like call it the brutal practice. We got up there and they were like, freestyle, 2,000. Or it was like 2,000 or 10,000 or something ridiculous like that.
You said 10,000 yesterday.
Okay. Because we were swimming like 200 laps, which means that from when we arrived until almost nightfall, it was relentless swimming. Like, no break or anything like that. You just go.
Yeah, if anyone knows the pacer from high school or middle school, we did it in high school. I don't know if they were monsters by your guys' places and had to do it in middle school. But the pacer where you would run to one side of the gym and then back, like run like back and forth between the sides of the gym, and like and on the whistle you had to switch. That's it. You know, where you can have time to rest if you're quick enough to make it to the other side of the gym before the whistle.
Yeah, the point of that is to make you run to the point of failure at steadily at steadily increasing speeds or with steadily tighter timing.
Yeah, because it would get to the point where you'd be about halfway through running to one side, the whistle will blow, and you have to just go back.
Oh, so they did it differently for you. Like, if you didn't make it to the end of that lap, like, if the whistle blew before you were at the end, then they would just, like, well, now you're out. And they willed the team down until it was just the people who were able to keep going.
I don't know if they've ever done it that way. We never did, like, competition-wise, but I think it might have been, like, I feel like they had something called the pacer test, so they might have done it that way. My memory is just, at some point, like, trying not to die as I make it to one side of the gym, and then the whistle going, it's like, motherfucking hell, come on. What do you hate me? Speaking of, no, I'll save that for the gym episode.
Yeah, so the difference is that there was no time factor to it. It was just, you're gonna keep swimming laps and we're never telling you to stop.
Yeah.
I didn't even so after it settled in that this is what we were doing, I didn't actually do the counting that we were supposed to do. I just kept swimming until somebody told me to stop. Because if I lost count, well, if you swam too much, then you don't get punished for that.
Yeah.
So, like, whatever.
There's no failure state for it.
There was also no actual punishment at all. So if you didn't follow directions, it, like, didn't matter. Which I'm only realizing as I'm saying it right now is, hey, wait a minute. There was no punishment at all at any point.
At least that, because it must have been fucking impossible for some kids to.
Oh, you weren't allowed on the team if you couldn't do it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like they would kick you.
I see.
Yeah. So when I say I was bad at it, I mean one of the tests was there's picture an Olympic swimming pool. On like the 1/4 mark or something like that, there's a set of flags that goes over the top. And on the 3/4 mark, there's also another set of flags. And so it's so you know about how far you are.
Yeah.
If you're like doing backstroke or whatever. And you were one of the things that we were supposed to do is take a deep breath, then swim underwater any way you want, all the way to the other side on one breath. You are not allowed to come up for air. And by the end of swim team, the year that they did that, it was probably every year, but I just never learned how to do it. I was one of like 3 people who couldn't do it out of like 20.
Yeah, the way that you used to describe yourself on swim team, that's shocking to hear.
Yeah, because like relative to the rest of the team, I was not good at it. But then significantly later in life, like 10 years later, I have a swimming race with my cousin. And
Was I there for that?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, because that was at the Y or something.
Yeah, that was at the Y. YMCA. It's a gym basically
In the U.S., yeah.
in the United States. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. I don't think you can actually stay there anymore though.
I don't think so.
It used to be like a get homeless people back on their feet kind of place. Also,
Yeah, I had no idea about that.
I mean, you still have to pay the membership and everything, but like you could sleep there.
Yeah, okay, but yeah. Yeah,
Anyway.
you raced your cousin.
I raced my cousin, and my cousin is in amazing shape. He's like an anime character.
Yeah.
And he challenged me to. I challenged him to a race because I wanted to see if I could still do it. And there was a shallow part that only came up like halfway to my thighs, so you had to like pull your stroke at the beginning, otherwise your fingers would touch the ground. And it was like that for like 20-ish meters until it dropped off to the deep end.
Oh yeah, that deep end was fucking scary.
I've seen worse.
I don't care.
I've seen a 20-foot deep end.
But I mean, like, the drop-off that goes into the deep end, that was...
It wasn't even that bad. It was like 45 degrees.
That's still a lot more than I was comfortable with.
The one that I remember was a steep drop-off.
I don't care.
It was like...
I wasn't there for that.
It was a cliff.
I don't like it.
Anyway, so I challenged him to a race because I wanted to see what I could still do, because I figure I'm going to lose because he's in amazing shape. Well, not only do I beat him, but I beat him easily, and I am going hard and serious and stuff, but I just assumed that because I'm out of shape, it's not going to matter. Well, I also found out, like, I touch the other side, and I stand up, and I'm looking, and he is running. Like, he's standing up in the knee-high water and running. And I'm like, what? And he's like, what the hell, man? Because apparently...
Oh, sheep bro.
I was, like, he knew that I was in swim team before, and so, like, just to be a dick, he started the race by not swimming. He ran for that part to try and get ahead of me. And then he also ran on the way back, because he can run faster than he can swim. And it didn't matter. And I still completely crushed him. And I feel so good about that.
Yeah.
The reason I keep telling that story, you've now heard that story like 5 times.
Yeah.
The reason I keep telling that story...
you didn't go in there yet.
...is because of how interesting it is to me that on the swim team, I was so bad. And yet, I totally
crushed. There. You didn't go in that building yet.
Okay. There. I was so bad at swim team, but, like, my cousin, who's in amazing shape, I destroyed him. That's... Oh, man.
Yeah.
There's a reason I keep going on about it.
Yeah, no. Definitely understand. Right after this fight, we should wrap it up.
Okay. Speaking of amazing feats that you didn't think you were capable of, I wanted to talk a little bit about my experience at the gym just now, because the Arch signed up to a gym.
Oh, I thought we were going to save it for the gym episode.
Are we doing a gym episode? I wanted us to do it right now while I still have this memory in my head.
Okay, fine. Maybe if I get a moment to say the thing. Okay, just go.
Okay, so... Come on. There we go. So I just wanted to see what my level of fitness was, because one of my goals right now, I'm working on endurance. You're working on endurance. Mask is working on endurance. I don't know what second place is going to be doing, but she's very solitary at the gym. So she's probably not even going with us when we go together.
Probably not. She was rather.
Anyway, so I go there to like get a baseline for what I am able to do, because my goal is to be able to run for a mile without stopping. I ran for a mile without noticing. I look, because I was only looking at the amount of time that's passed, because I wanted to run for 15 minutes. And come on, where's the? Give me a heart. Give me anything. Fuck you. So I wanted to run for a mile for a mile without stopping, and that's my goal. I wound up running for a mile without noticing, and continued to run for another half mile before my muscles were like, no. But it wasn't my heart that was like, no. And you see the life that I live. Like, my craft is physical, but it's not like endurance physical. It's not rigorous. I'm standing in place and swinging a hammer, or pulling a saw. Why should I be able to run that fast for that? Okay, not that fast. I was running at 5 miles an hour, but
yeah, we raced once, and so we're both very sedentary, but my job often requires me to be on my feet for most of 8 hours, most of 12 hours if I work a 12-hour shift. And yet he's still able to clobber me in a race.
I totally smoked you. And I didn't even open up on you either.
I mean, on one hand, yes, I've always been really slow, but just also, like, I'm the most active one of the two of us, like, in this way.
By a long shot.
Why is this possible? Why is my body
it's not fair.
So eager to disintegrate?
Like, and I've been told that I have a runner's body, and I think that's just being flattering because, the reason that we're doing this is because I'm paunchy.
Yeah.
Or I'm becoming paunchy. I'm on the road to paunch.
Yeah, and that's part of what I'm doing that for too. Like, one, my body just sucks at everything. I get winded easily, which may be related to something else, who knows. But also, like, the way my body looks right now, it's caused me a lot of distress. Like, more distress than I've ever had about it, like, putting me on the edge of dark places that I know that I can't really actually ever get to because I physically just can't do it. But still, it's just like, the fact that I'm in that spot is a problem.
Yeah, that's a big issue.
Yeah, and I don't want to really go into it right now, maybe like off the air, but just not now.
Okay.
But yeah, and so that's why I'm getting into it, and it's interesting.
You get winded easily.
Well, yeah, and I already said that. But it's interesting that I'm getting into the gym into the first place, that I was like, hey, let's get a fucking membership. Because in school, the worst part of PE was always going to the weight room or doing workouts. That was the worst ever. I hated it. Mainly because, like, upon reflection, they wouldn't let us listen to, like, our own music. Like, we couldn't bring our iPods or anything in and just listen to stuff. No, we had to listen to whatever was on the fucking radio, or hope that we can, like, be by our bros so we can just, like, talk. Like, and I realized that must be why I hated it so much, because there was... So, my junior year, when I had a really cool teacher that later got in trouble for having a relationship with a student.
What?
Yeah, that's a story. Okay, so junior year, I had this teacher. I'm not gonna name names because I still kind of like her, and I don't really know the full details of it. So,
like, you don't know how much of it was power dynamics and how much of it was, like, legit?
Just unfortunately, this person is your student. I'm pretty sure the person she was in a relationship with was a senior. But yeah, she was my favorite gym teacher ever. Like, and I can't necessarily fully remember exactly what it was that made her my favorite. Like, she just seemed cool. I think she was the one who noticed how hard I was going at floor hockey once and was like, dude, you should probably, like, just sit on the bench, because, you're like getting all red and you should probably, like, take a rest. And it's like, okay, cool. But I just really liked her, and unfortunately it's been years now to where I can't fully articulate what it was about her that made her great. But there was at least one time where we were running the mile, which was fucking stupid. I hated it. But we were, like, running either, like, running the mile for real or running a practice mile. And she was like, hey, if you got like music to listen to and you've got headphones, you could totally do that. And it's like, cool, fucking yes. And that was the best time I've ever had running a mile.
Gym class was always the place where people I hated cared about it, and like I never cared about it myself.
I never cared about it for physicality, like, oh, I gotta do this so then I can be healthy, bro. I liked it because I liked playing the games, and I liked playing certain games. Like, you know, I love soccer, I loved floor hockey, badminton was fun, tennis was bullshit, baseball was bullshit. You know, I just liked playing the games, and it was a nice physical outlet for me to play these games because I couldn't really, I couldn't be part of a sports team. I was fucking bored, and you know, I wasn't any good at this stuff, but I wanted to play anyways.
Games are a rich person's game.
And you know what was the most annoying thing to me? So I was in a girls' gym, and you know what they fucking wanted to do? They wanted, like, there was more than one time where we had the option to like either do like a game like volleyball or we could walk around the gym. Many of the girls chose to just walk around the gym.
I was always the track guy.
The fucking worst. Just, you know, it's like, well, we can't play unless we have enough people, so I guess you're all just walking the gym. And just like, okay, well, no, fuck you guys. I don't understand why you just can't do this thing that I want, because I want to play games. Why don't you want to play games? What fun can you have in just walking around the fucking gym? What
They
are you
can
gonna
talk
see?
to their friends.
Well, I guess, but when can...
That's why I did it.
But you can do that any other time. I just want to play fucking games. I can't play that anywhere else. And yes, I know it was very selfish of me, but it's just like... Also walking the gym, like, even if I was with friends, it was boring.
So in my gym class was conversation class for me. Because I was able to just, like, talk to people, and especially talk to people of... This is part of where I got popular in high school, is from talking to people there, and they exposing them to the greatness that is me, and they were all like, yeah, we're cool. Because in gym class, there are no cliques, for whatever reason. And part of the reason, I guess, that is the case is that our gym class was combined for all 4 years. So if you had gym that period, everybody from every year was doing the same thing. So they never ran out of people for games.
We had something similar. Like, it wasn't necessarily everyone who had gym that period would do it. Like, one, it wasn't co-ed, so it was girls or boys. And then also, like, the upperclassmen and underclassmen would be separated. But even still, you could, you know, have something like that. The thing with me, like, I had an interesting relationship with friends in gym. So, for 3 years, the first 3 years of high school, 3.5 years actually, I had at least one friend-ish person who I can hang out with in my gym class. And it got to a point where I was like, can I just not have any of these people here? Can I have just one period where I'm fucking alone? And then my last semester of senior year, which was my most depressed year, I was alone, and I was just kind of in a I'm so alone type thing. Like, where I understand that I wanted this, and I still partially did, but it's just also like, I'm just alone. Man, fuck senior year. Like,
Go on.
just a whole bunch of shit that just made me utterly depressed the whole time. I can't remember if it was the second semester of my senior year or junior year, one of those, but one of them started out where I just had a headache every fucking day, and I'm pretty sure it was a stress headache. And just part of it was, you know, the end of an era that, you know, I kind of enjoyed. I kind of, you know, I like school. I like the structure of it. I like, you know, not having to go out and work all the fucking time.
Achieve world peace?
How do you bring peace to all the kingdoms in the world? Is that...
Yeah.
I don't know how you do that.
Every place that can be solved twice, do it.
I guess so. Fashion maven. Huh, okay.
Yeah, anyway.
But, yeah, so... it was an end of an era. You know, senior year, you're getting out of school. Yeah, I guess you could go to college, but you know, for me, it was like, well, what the fuck am I gonna do? Because I don't know what I'm necessarily doing for college, and it was a mess of that plus more fucking stuff with my mom. Just so she would build me up, saying, "Oh, you're so great. You could do whatever you want to do." And so it's like, well, can I go to a like real like university and you know shit? And it's like, then my mom would be like, "What? No, we're poor. What? No." It's like, well, then don't
Well, you
build
just
me
said-
fucking up.
You just said you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, it's just like, don't make me like have dreams and then just to crush them. So I had that the weight of my shoulders, and then my best friend throughout pretty much all of high school was was into a relationship with a new person, and so and I just felt eternally left behind by
Third wheel forever.
yeah, I was left behind by him, and then I was
It's okay. Aces make natural third wheels.
well, it's not just that, but he was like, you know, kind of the way in that you are to me. He was like my one person who I was actually like friend with, like the only one who was close to me. Whereas, you
Well,
know, I had other people that I could talk to, but I didn't really have anyone else in that
you're
way.
close with the rest of the Arch, but
But it's not quite
you are
the
closest to me, yes.
Yeah, it's not quite the same. Like,
There's a reason we're doing this show right now,
Yeah.
and not like me and other people who can talk.
it's like on some level, you know, I can hang out with them, you know, it's fine, but if they disappeared, it'd be like, okay, fine. But if you disappeared, I'd have fucking nothing. Like, I'd have to build up something with someone from the ground up, and that's kind of how it was when I met you and Mass, because it was like, okay, my best friend from high school who he was moving out of my house, and no, he had moved out of my house, and the only place that I was gonna see him was at school. So it was like that very day he gave me a sketchbook and some like fancy pens and was like, oh, we're gonna write each other. Okay, cool. And you know, we exchanged like one note and never did that. And so that was like, okay, well, fucking fine. And I was like lucky that you came up, otherwise I would have had fucking no one. Like, you know, I'd have my sister, but you know, it's kind of it's hard for me to talk to people about real things, and like just so much.
I appreciate it, but I definitely don't relate, because I have
Yeah.
no problems talking to anybody
Yeah,
about
no.
anything ever.
Yeah, no, you're just a talking machine, whereas I have a huge barrier to entry, like to be real with someone. Like, you know, like it's even though like, you know, I'm semi-open on the internet, I'm always still in that frame of what can I say? Like, when I feel like just expressing some of the darker thoughts in my head, it's just like, well, no, I can't fucking say that out loud. Man. But yeah, so senior year sucked in that way, and, you know, just, you know, typical problems at home, and just all that shit. Man, senior year sucked, even though, you know, it wasn't necessarily anything in school that was the problem. Well, that's interesting. No, it's upside down. Yeah. So, are you painting him? Like,
I already hate this.
same, because you can't line it up with anything. Like, is this supposed to be just a silly, like, see what you created, because you can find what you wanted
No,
to do?
if you're sufficiently accurate, you get a moon.
Oh, it's one of those. I think that's about it.
Yeah. Let's try it. Okay.
Did you? Oh, I think you might have missed his mouth, but that shouldn't give you. Yeah, maybe it's because you didn't put a mouth on him.
Whatever. I'm not doing this. I hate it.
Fair enough.
It's impossible to talk and do that at the same time.
You ready to just quit? Because we kind of, or
We were going like we started this episode on like fitness and gym
yeah,
stuff, right?
gym stuff. Yeah, and then I explained my favorite gym teacher why like doing workout type stuff sucks because they don't let you listen to music, and
So you're gonna be really weirded out. I ran that 17 minutes in silence.
yeah, well, I'm not weirded out because I recognize that, you know, I'm. What's the word?
Now-
Weird.
No. In this case, I'm the weird one. I wanted to just run in silence and see when I would stop.
Well, I think, like, isn't that what a lot of people do when they're at the gym? Just, you know, just kind of go.
Everybody that I saw that was there was wearing headphones.
Oh, probably fair enough then. Which is definitely what I'm going to be doing. Like, also, like, a quick shout out for people who are like, hey, so I see this, like, person at the gym and, you know, how do I approach them? Don't. Fucking don't.
Yeah, never, ever, ever approach anyone at the gym under any circumstances.
Yeah. But yeah. How did... I don't understand. Oh, maybe... Oh, you need to wait for the black background.
Yeah, the black background moved.
I see.
I was not expecting it to move.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay.
That is an interesting mechanic. I like it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Oh, brew it! That was... I apologize for that, actually. No!
And then I died.
I was dead.
Okay, the game is too distracting right now.
Okay. Let's say goodbye.
Yeah. Alright. Teach me how to say goodbye. Say
Say
goodbye. Say goodbye.
goodbye. History has its eyes on you.
Yeah.
Okay. Goodbye.
Bye.